Are you in a good place now in your life?
Depends on when you ask me whether or not it's a good place.
Are you happy?
It depends. It also depends on when you ask.
He struggled with the idea of coming out publicly. Was that something that you talked about at all?
But he wasn't going to come out and say this to the world. And he had a lot of lady fans.
My friend Luther was gay.
What I just told you applies to 7 people. How they all end up with that. That's part of what you get. I came in this business saying I was going to expose.
What I just explained pertains to 7 individuals and the paths they each took. That's part of what comes with the territory. When I entered this industry, I intended to be transparent. My friend Luther, who was gay, struggled with the decision to come out publicly. Was this something you discussed with him? Despite his personal battles, he chose not to disclose this to the world. He had numerous female fans. As for myself, whether I'm in a good place or not really depends on when you ask me.
My friend Luther was gay.
He struggled with the idea of coming out publicly. Was that something that you talked about at all?
But he wasn't going to come out and say this to the world. And he had a lot of lady fans.
Are you in a good place now in your life?
Depends on when you ask me whether or not it's a good place.
Are you happy?
It depends. It also depends on when you ask.
Are you happy? Well, that also depends on the timing of your question. We all witnessed a man get murdered right before our eyes, even though he had forewarned us. We just didn't see it coming. There's an old saying that there's nothing funnier than a black man in a dress.
The matter is, we watched this nigga get murdered right in front of our own face. And the nigga knew it was finna happen. He told us, and we didn't know.
It might also be said that there's nothing funnier than a black guy in a dress.
Why? Because it's assumed no one would be interested in him romantically. Tiffany Haddish has been doing comedy since she was 16. She's an example of perseverance. Jermaine Dupri, the king of making it big if you ask me. From a young age, he was taught to make promises small, and that's why you never see his product suffering. He is the product, always replenishing his own supply. Jermaine, I owe you a dinner. I've turned down $50 million offers 4 times just to maintain my integrity. That's a promise I made to myself. P. Diddy is another story. I've had to tell him no directly. I keep the receipts for everything. That's why I can speak so openly. In the studio, he joked about drugging people and exploiting them, which I've seen happen at parties. Men kissing men. It's not my business, but it's hard not to notice. I've seen Dwight Howard at one of these parties, wearing a pink dress, along with 2 other similarly dressed ladies. They were all the same height at a Diddy party.
You looking around like, damn, like, a lot of guys kissing each other in here, man. You feel me? What y'all do is y'all business.
So you've been to a party and seen this?
Oh, I've seen it firsthand, multiple times.
Damn.
I seen Dwight Howard in a pink dress, bro.
What?
I seen Dwight Howard in a pink dress with 2 other trans ladies in dresses. They all the same height at a Diddy party.
Oh.
Ask about Dwight Howard in Mexico.
What's up with Dwight Howard in Mexico?
You know, they don't got paparazzi out there like that. You feel me? They was down there hooping. He going to the club with these same trans ladies.
Ask about Dwight in Mexico. There's less paparazzi there, so things are more out in the open. Am I worried about being blackballed? These people might seem powerful, but true power doesn't come from them. The primary role for someone who has sold their soul in Hollywood is to pretend it never happened. They might seem like a stronger team on paper because they have the resources, but when it comes down to it, that doesn't always matter. I've spoken up about Harvey Weinstein before it was public. He made inappropriate proposals to me in front of my colleagues, and I refused. That's why when I walk into a room, people look away, but when they face me, they show respect. I haven't taken the shortcuts they've taken, and they paid dearly to keep certain topics out of the public discourse. I'm just a comedian trying to have a conversation that others avoid. I wish this discussion was led by a religious leader or a politician. Yet here I am, Cat Williams, stepping up as a whistleblower, trying to pull back the curtain on these hidden realities. Cat Williams is unapologetically revealing the darker underbelly of Hollywood's glitter and glamour, unafraid to unleash bombshell revelations that have sent shockwaves across the entertainment industry. Amidst exposing the alleged conspiracies surrounding Michael Jackson's untimely death, Williams has courageously addressed another significant issue: the stereotypical casting of Black actors in roles requiring them to don feminine attire. His candid discussions on the industry's stereotypes and injustices demonstrate his willingness to confront sensitive subjects, even if it unsettles some. Indeed, Williams's forthrightness seems to have displeased certain industry elites, leading to signs of Hollywood giving him the cold shoulder for not diluting his outspoken views. Among these influential figures is Clive Davis, a titan in the music business, renowned but not without his share of scandals and controversies. Rumors swirl about the less savory aspects of his extravagant parties and insinuations about his role in certain questionable practices to secure funding for Bad Boy Records. Diddy's interaction with Davis when he was a 23-year-old aspiring artist seeking to break into the music industry marks a pivotal moment. Clive was drawn to Diddy's innovative hip-hop concepts, seeing in him a potential to resonate with a broad audience. Recounting their first meeting, Davis recognized in Diddy the kind of forward-thinking artist that he and L.A. Reid were searching for, someone who was deeply connected to the hip-hop scene and could bring it into mainstream recognition. Clive Davis, widely respected as a visionary producer, has nurtured a diverse roster of artists, significantly shaping the music landscape with his knack for spotting and cultivating talent. Yet, he is also seen by some as a gatekeeper within the industry, allegedly wielding his influence through manipulation. Rumors persist about his dealings with Diddy, suggesting a darker side to his mentorship, reminiscent of the manipulations rumored to have occurred with other artists like Luther Vandross. Luther Vandross, a legend in the R&B genre, began his journey in the vibrant musical environment of Manhattan. Born in 1951, he overcame personal tragedies, including the early death of his father. His mother ensured their home was filled with the sounds of gospel, soul, and doo-wop, which greatly influenced Luther. He found inspiration in his sister Patricia, a member of the successful doo-wop group, The Crests. Despite facing numerous challenges, including a stroke in 2003, Luther continued to win Grammy Awards and enchant audiences with his music. His story is a testament to the complexities and pressures within the industry, similar to the experiences Cat Williams now highlights in his critiques of the entertainment landscape. Immersed in the soulful sounds of Motown's girl groups and the gospel vibes of artists like Aretha Franklin and Whitney Houston, and harboring dreams of a music career, he attended Western Michigan University briefly. However, his aspirations were grander. His breakthrough came in 1972 when he penned Everybody Rejoice for the Broadway hit, The Wiz. His career trajectory changed significantly after he landed a gig as a backup singer for David Bowie, where he also showcased his vocal arranging skills on Bowie's Young Americans album. Luther became a sought-after backup singer and arranger, working with prominent figures like Bette Midler and Barbra Streisand, and even earned extra income singing jingles incognito. In the late 1970s, he was recording under various pseudonyms, collaborating with groups like Bionic Boogie and Change, and you might recognize his voice from Chic's hit, Dance, Dance, Dance. During this period, while climbing the industry ladder, Luther also did voice work for commercials, including Kentucky Fried Chicken, and provided backup vocals for heavyweights like David Bowie, Chaka Khan, and Donna Summer. He even performed with Nile Rodgers and Bernard Edwards in a group named Luther before they formed Chic. However, Luther was not content with just performing. He wanted creative control over his music, which made securing the right record deal challenging. Despite working on projects with legends like Quincy Jones, finding that deal was tough. Meanwhile, Luther's public image was typecast in ways he disliked, such as being dubbed the master of bedroom music and pigeonholed as an act primarily for women. He also faced personal and health challenges, with his weight fluctuating between 190 and 340 pounds on his 6'3" frame. The constant pressures of his career and his personal and romantic life complications didn't help. Though he never married, Luther faced persistent rumors about his sexuality, with speculation about whether he was gay. He neither confirmed nor denied these rumors, but they certainly impacted his image. Patti LaBelle caused a stir online when she disclosed during a live television interview on Bravo's Watch What Happens Live with Andy Cohen that Luther Vandross was gay.
He struggled with the idea of coming out publicly. Was that something that you talked about at all?
But he wasn't going to come out and say this to the world. And he had a lot of lady fans.
She explained that he struggled with the decision to come out publicly because he did not want to upset his mother or his large female fan base. The concept of outing is significant within the LGBTQ community. Historically, disclosing one's sexuality or gender identity, even voluntarily, has been risky in a society where LGBTQ individuals often face ridicule and physical harm. For Black individuals identifying as LGBTQ, the stakes are even higher. The internal struggle Luther Vandross must have faced, contemplating being an openly gay Black man during the peak of his music career in the 1980s, a period deeply connected with the African American church and broader Black culture, was undoubtedly daunting. His revelation would have shaken the community in an era where homophobia and toxic masculinity were prevalent. Unlike pop figures like Boy George and Elton John, Luther Vandross would have been a singular presence in the R&B realm as an openly gay artist. Navigating the intersecting challenges of racism and homophobia during that era was daunting, especially for male musicians often seen as fantasy figures for female fans. For Luther Vandross, whose velvety voice enthralled many, being gay was perceived as detrimental to his marketability. The real tragedy lies not in Patti LaBelle outing him without his consent, but in the societal pressures that made such disclosures so consequential. In his interactions with the media, Vandross often maintained a neutral stance regarding the persistent speculations about his sexuality. He neither confirmed nor denied any rumors, reflecting the intense societal and industry pressures of his time. For instance, in a 2001 interview with Vibe magazine, when prodded about the ongoing speculation, Vandross humorously deflected with comments about his residences, highlighting the personal cost of his privacy. He poignantly questioned the value of coming out in a hostile environment, underlining the lack of safety and acceptance for LGBTQ individuals during that era. As a Black gay man, whether openly or closeted, Vandross craved the universal desires of love and happiness. In that same interview, he revealed a poignant personal detail. He had never experienced reciprocal love, despite his longing for it. He recounted his first encounter with unrequited love at just 16 years old, a moment that left him feeling deeply isolated. Vandross yearned for a domestic life with someone who cared for him beyond professional obligations, a longing that perhaps influenced his decision never to marry. Despite his private nature, Vandross's musical legacy is undeniable, with hits like Dance with My Father and Never Too Much securing his place in music history. Questions about his personal life, including his romantic relationships, remained largely unanswered. According to his close friends and collaborators, Vandross had a meaningful relationship with a man during the late 1980s and early 1990s, though details were scarce. This aspect of his life was confirmed by both Bruce Vian and Patti LaBelle, shedding light on his personal journey. Despite his iconic status in singing about love, Vandross himself seemed unfamiliar with the love he so beautifully serenaded to others. The absence of openly gay Black men in mainstream R&B, with Frank Ocean being a notable exception, underscores the ongoing challenges in achieving inclusivity and representation in the music industry. Even in 2017, the struggle for LGBTQ visibility in music remains significant. It's uncertain whether Vandross would have felt empowered to come out publicly, like Clive Davis did in 2013, had the industry and societal attitudes been different. Vandross's life was also marked by significant personal challenges, including health issues like diabetes, which also afflicted his father. In the 1990s, he was involved in a car accident resulting in a fatality, which led to a charge of vehicular manslaughter, later reduced to reckless driving. His musical career continued to flourish during this period, highlighted by collaborations with artists like Mariah Carey and his enduring hits. The circumstances of Whitney Houston's death also raised concerns for Vandross, especially considering the odd timing of her meeting with Clive Davis shortly before she was found dead. As investigations continued, the focus on Davis intensified, although official reports attributed Houston's death to accidental drowning, complicated by heart disease. Through all the personal and professional highs and lows, Vandross navigated a complex landscape, balancing public expectations with his own quest for authenticity and personal fulfillment. Clive Davis is a highly influential figure in the music industry, renowned for his immense power and track record of success. He founded Arista Records and signed numerous major black artists, showcasing his knack for identifying musical potential. His roster of signed artists includes Patti Smith, The Outlaws, Eric Carmen, Exposé, Ace of Base, Air Supply, Dionne Warwick, Ray Parker Jr., Aretha Franklin, and Alicia Keys. Davis also played a key role in launching Puff Daddy's career and establishing Bad Boy Records. However, his most notable success was discovering and nurturing Whitney Houston's career. Astounded by Houston's exceptional singing talent and wholesome image, Clive recognized the opportunity to launch her into superstardom, a move that not only benefited Whitney immensely, but also significantly boosted Clive Davis's net worth, which reportedly approached $800 million. As Whitney Houston navigated the complexities of the music industry, she, like many others, began to notice peculiar and unsettling occurrences. In her 2002 interview with Diane Sawyer, she openly addressed the challenges she faced and the personal struggles she battled, shedding light on the darker aspects of the industry. Whitney appeared uneasy and cautious at times, revealing that she felt a sense of inner conflict and acknowledged struggles with personal demons. During her interview, Whitney Houston discussed her disputes with Clive Davis and suggested a conspiracy against her, inadvertently making herself vulnerable. Exploiting her past struggles with addiction, individuals sought to undermine her credibility and discredit her. The unexpected and shocking news of her death on February 11, 2012, the day before the scheduled Grammy Awards, came as a profound tragedy, especially given the circumstances surrounding it. It was a sorrowful twist of fate that deeply affected the music world. Tragically, the entertainment industry has seen many instances where artists, facing the demanding nature of their work, succumb to substances. Whitney Houston was no exception. Her ongoing battle with addiction and health issues cast a shadow over her career until it reached an irreversible tipping point. The tragic events unfolded as music industry luminaries gathered in Los Angeles for the Grammys. Whitney Houston, accompanied by her family and friends, checked into the Beverly Hilton Hotel. A customary event preceding the Grammys was Clive Davis hosting a pre-Grammy party, with Houston's mentor playing a central role. As preparations for the evening continued, Houston's assistant, Mary Jones, briefly left the room after arranging Houston's dress on the bed. What occurred during this short absence, leading to the discovery of Houston unconscious and face down in a water-filled bathtub upon Jones's return, remained a mystery until insights were provided by the coroner's report. Sadly, Houston was pronounced dead at the scene at 3:55 p.m. on the same day. During the investigation, police found an open champagne bottle and a spoon with a white, crystal-like substance near Whitney Houston. Additionally, various medications, including an antidepressant, a muscle relaxant, and allergy medication, were discovered in her system during the autopsy. The coroner's report, released weeks later, attributed Houston's death to heart disease, drug use, and accidental drowning. It was also revealed that Houston had a mild case of empyema, contributing to the gradual loss of her powerful voice. Numerous speculations about Houston's personal life emerged in films, documentaries, and biopics, both before and after her death. Despite the scrutiny, Houston's musical talent and soulful voice remained unwavering. Clive Davis, on the other hand, is celebrated as a highly accomplished producer, revered for nurturing diverse artists and creating enduring musical masterpieces. His innovative practices have firmly established him as a pivotal figure in shaping the modern music landscape. While Clive has earned acclaim for his musical productions, he now finds himself at the center of discussions regarding his romantic life. After 2 marriages and divorces, Clive embarked on a journey of self-discovery, openly exploring the possibility of being attracted to men. During this period of self-reflection, Clive Davis realized that his sexual orientation was not exclusively heterosexual, marking a significant change from what he believed. Throughout the initial 5 decades of his life, as recorded in his published works, he chronicled the Studio 54 era, a time when he was married to his second wife, Janet Adelberg. On this night, after having enough to drink, I was open to his advances, Davis wrote. Was I nervous? Absolutely. Did the heavens open up? No, but it was satisfying. This experience sparked a period of introspection and self-reflection. Following his separation from Adelberg in 1985, Davis began engaging in relationships with individuals of various genders. Since 1990, he has maintained 2 long-term relationships with male partners. You don't have to be only one thing or another, Davis mentioned in an interview with chat show host Katie Couric. I opened myself up to the possibility that I could have a relationship with a man, as well as the 2 I had with women. In a discussion on Nightline, Davis elucidated that bisexuality is often maligned and misunderstood. For over 50 years, I never had sex with a male, he stated. It wasn't repressed. I had very good relationships with women. Clive said that he is not ashamed of his sexual orientation, but I never stopped being attracted to women. Bisexuality is misunderstood, but the adage is that you're either straight, gay, or lying. But that's not my experience. To call me anything other than bisexual would be inaccurate. However, his alleged parties with open drug use and Whitney Houston's death, with her body full of drugs, suggest he may have been involved in her death or may have introduced her to drugs. Importantly, he was the last person she met before her death. Reports have suggested that Luther Vandross tried to protect Whitney from Clive Davis. Some believe Clive may have also harmed Luther, as he mentored him. Luther Vandross's album Dance with My Father, recorded before he fell ill, was a major success, earning him 4 Grammys, including Song of the Year, and became his first #1 album on the pop charts, winning 4 NAACP Image Awards. Although he couldn't attend in person, his talent shone brightly. At the age of 54, the beloved musician passed away from a heart attack on July 1, 2005, at JFK Medical Center in Edison, New Jersey. He left behind his mother, Mary Ida Vandross, who played a significant role in promoting her son's final work, which went on to win Grammy Awards. Despite Luther's severe health challenges, he received treatment at a New York hospital during a critical period. Regrettably, he was unable to attend the Grammy Awards that year, despite it being a pinnacle moment in his career. Vandross clinched 4 awards that night, including the prestigious Best R&B album. The official Grammy Awards website commemorates this poignant moment, highlighting Vandross's resilience as he conveyed a message of love and strength. He delivered his acceptance speech on video, saying, "Remember, when I say goodbye, it's never for long because I believe in the power of love." Luther Vandross was honored in a solemn ceremony at Riverside Church in New York City, where friends, family, and prominent figures from the music industry gathered to pay their respects. Esteemed artists, including Aretha Franklin, Patti LaBelle, Stevie Wonder, Dionne Warwick, and Whitney Houston, delivered heartfelt tributes and musical performances celebrating Vandross's life and legacy. Following the ceremony, Vandross was laid to rest at the George Washington Memorial Park in Paramus, New Jersey, marking his final resting place. The outpouring of love and admiration from those who attended the service reflected Vandross's profound impact on the music world and the lives of countless fans. Vandross's health struggles, compounded by hypertension and diabetes, were well documented. The stroke he suffered severely impacted his speech and singing abilities, necessitating the use of a wheelchair. JFK Medical Center in New Jersey, as reported by Billboard, announced his peaceful passing, attributing it to complications from the stroke from which he had not fully recovered. The journey to fame was fraught with challenges for Vandross, his legal battle against Sony Music Entertainment stemming from a prolonged personal service contract beyond legal limits, stands as a testament to the complexities he faced. Consequently, his abrupt halt in the midst of a significant comeback was a devastating blow for his devoted fan base. One of his fans wrote, "Who cares what his sexuality was? We freaking love him." In my humble opinion, addiction to certain foods may be one of the toughest battles to fight. "What a beautiful man. What a beautiful talent," one mourner expressed. "Rest in peace, Mr. Vross." Another added, "We were robbed. What a man, what a voice, what talent. Thank you for the incredible music you've left behind." Unfortunately, the escape from such losses often manifests in the form of drugs or alcohol, a pattern with perilous outcomes. As history has demonstrated, numerous celebrities have succumbed to addiction. This tends to sneak into their lives both insidiously and abruptly, wreaking havoc. That's all for today. See you in the next video. Until then, goodbye, and goodbye, and goodbye, and